We're
Okay,
here.
well, yeah, we're here, and we
Well,
see the chat is popping off. We're sorry for the slight delay. We were getting everyone all in and whatnot. So, I mean, I guess Will, you take it away. You get started.
I'm not super surprised by this because I thought LAFC were going to win this game. They beat LAFC 5-2. The Seattle Sounders did a couple. What was it, like in March? I think.
Yeah, early in the
So
season start.
early in
Yeah,
the season, yeah. And I thought this was going to be a rebound game. LAFC is trending in the right direction, and Seattle had a lot of guys out tonight, right? Musovski didn't come on until like the 57th minute, and he's been your best player this year. I think he has a true striker instead of Jordan Morris. It's almost like Seattle is like we're preparing for the weekend game instead of this, but it's not good to lose 4-0 to LAFC. I mean, this is an embarrassing loss, and especially because they put in so many guys halfway through the game or later in the game. Just a very disappointing game, man. Like, holy shit. You know what it made me realize, though, honestly, Cheyenne, is that this team has no depth. In the Club World Cup, they're going to get absolutely smoked, which we already knew, because these are the guys they're going to be relying on, and this is not good.
yeah. I think a point that I think Brody and I were talking about it during this game, and also welcome Brody. He was just grabbing a glass of water, but we were talking about it, and we talked about it during the live after the last game we had, how we said we should go out in both this game and the Portland game with our strongest lineups. I know there's a short break between, but these were two games where you really should have built the momentum. Like, you win these two games, we're back basically. Like, you're really like stepping your foot and cementing it in the conference. And I was a little surprised we decided, hey, let's do that, playing the B team again. But LAC learned from their mistakes. They're like, no, we're not going to play B team again against Seattle. We're going to play our strongest lineup. And so I didn't think we were going to I think we would have been happy to come out of this game with a draw. But once it hit 2-0, I was like, okay, let's just do damage control. Maybe we get a goal with Kent and Musovski and stuff coming on. But god damn, we could have lost that game fucking 5-6-0.
Brian
Don't
Schmidt is
again,
special.
don't get me wrong. I don't think this is like press the panic button type of situation, because Sounders have been on a good stretch of games. They've been scoring goals, but it's like, I think the kind of the theme of this year, Brody, I don't know if you can attest to it, is it's very like high and low. Like, we're just kind of, there's not much consistency. I think our goal differential attests to that, because we almost have the same amount of goal scorers conceded.
I'm going to let Brody take the floor real quick, but I just want to say I'm going to crash out after he's done. So go ahead, man. Floor is yours.
Oh, bro. Listen, I just want to start first and foremost by saying I was actually, Sean and I were texting today, and I was actually giving Brian a lot of credit over the last few games, obviously with the run that we've been on. And then to see the absolute monstrosity of what you would call starting 11, man, that was absolutely brutal. And to me, it makes zero sense. We haven't had a mid-game week in a long time.
Ages. Yeah.
It's got to have been at least over a month. And you got LAFC, a team that we rarely ever beat in the regular season.
We've never beaten them in LA in the regular season. Never.
Not only that, this is like the perfect time to just keep rolling out this lineup. Like, I know, obviously, you could have made a couple changes to the lineup if you wanted to, but to rotate everybody, and the one guy that he didn't rotate was the worst player on the fucking field, Paul Rothrock.
Oh god.
It's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. And I just want to say real quick, stop. Everyone needs to stop telling me that this guy's good. He's not good. Like, I'm tired of hearing. I get it. He's from Seattle. I get it. He's handsome. He's not a good player. And listen, we talked about this before, where with Paul Rothrock, it'll be like he'll have a mid to terrible game, and then he'll do like one, good thing, and then everyone kind of forgets. Today was just all bad. Everything terrible. Absolutely terrible. And just why would I just the biggest problem for me, like I said, is just why would you rotate this team so much when you haven't had a midweek game in well over a month, and you have LAFC at Wednesday and then Portland Saturday. After this giant stretch of form, you're going to rotate the team like this.
Because you kill the momentum a lot, like with
Yeah,
this
you
type of
absolutely kill
scoreline.
the momentum.
Yeah.
Absolutely kill the momentum. It's brutal. Now we're going into Portland after this kind of ass whooping. It's
I think
that's
another
all I
thing
gotta say.
before,
Really, is just
yeah, before you get into it, Will, is I don't think you need to make such a heavy rotation going into this game.
No.
And like, as I said, I didn't think like, but once it was 1-0, then it was 2-0. I was like, okay, we're not gonna win this game. But Jesus Christ, like, I don't think this is the end all be all to lose this game, but it's like you put now so much pressure on the Portland game because you rotated so much. You set yourself up to be like, okay, yeah, we're gonna maybe fuck ourselves over a little bit in this game so we can guarantee that win against Portland. And I'm just like, you just get dicked, and now you really are do you guys get what I mean? Like, you're really putting the pressure on yourself to have to go out in the Portland game. Because I can see everyone in the chat here, and we'll start highlighting your guys' comments once we get all our initial thoughts in there, but we're all reading it. You're really just putting a lot of emphasis in the Portland game, in my opinion. And I think that's a little bit frustrating.
Well, one thing that I realize about this team is that they are absolutely fucking trash on the road. They're not good on the road. They beat Dallas. Half their stadium is empty because they're doing a major renovation. The only other win that they had was, I think, St. Louis on the road this year. They're not a good road team. Okay, Seattle isn't. And then they haven't really beaten anybody. There's always this old question about are you a contender or are you a pretender? I think the Sounders are pretenders. Now, obviously, this is a heavy rotated lineup tonight. We'll see what they're really made of in Portland when they have to go to Portland, which they'll probably lose, but we'll see when they play their A squad or their first team squad against this team and on the road, we will see what this team actually is. But I've said this all season long. I'm not sold on the Sounders. I didn't like any of their moves. I think they were very, very underwhelming, and I don't like their depth. A lot of their players, this has got to be the LA Galaxy have had to get rid of a lot of players, right? This offseason when they won the championship. The Seattle team has pretty much the same core with a little bit of flair and spice into it. Shitty spice, but a little bit of spice. But the core is pretty much the same. And they fucking suck, dude. They got the same squad and they're terrible. Like, holy fuck. It's crazy. I just can't believe how they got absolutely fucking smoked, dude. And keep in mind, LAFC, they had a great game tonight, right? And obviously they played a lot more of their guys than what Seattle did. But I just don't think LAFC is a 4-0 better team than Seattle. Like, LAFC's not that good this year.
That's my point. Like at 2-0, I was like, okay, you know what? Fair result. But it's not even, the thing is like, it's the eye test too. We lost 4-0, but bro, it felt like 6-0. Like, it felt like when we whooped Portland's ass when we lost 6-2. Like, this makes our 5-2 win look like pennies. That's kind of the annoying part, is like, we can big up like absolutely butt waxing their B team when we played our B team and whatnot. But Jesus, then to go and lose 4-0. Again, I don't think this loss is the absolute end of the world. I know I see a lot of you guys like, yeah, Schmetzer was to blame tonight, but it shouldn't undo all the good that he has done recently. But it's like the fashion on how you lost, because it looked like we didn't care near the end of that game. Like, and I think that's what annoys me. I don't think it should take away from our good form, because I think we are picking it up, but it's like, it leaves you in like this uneasy situation now with the team currently. And I am starting to get a little bit annoyed of like, I think one player I think we have to kind of talk about a little bit is JP here, because he looked bad too. Like, and then but Brody, wasn't that a conversation we were having during the offseason? Should we bring him back? Is he worth bringing back? And it's kind of like, I was kind of like, I don't care if we do. I don't care if we did or didn't. But here I'm just looking at it and like, holy shit, like maybe we didn't really need to bring him back.
Yeah, this was honestly the first game of the season that I watched him play where I was like, this dude is fucking cooked. Like, he actually is cooked completely. And listen, it could have just been a bad game, but just watching that guy try, and I feel bad. Like, you can kind of tell.
Yeah, you feel bad.
I feel like he knows. I feel like he kind of knows that he's cooked at this point.
Here, 1 second to pause on your tangent. So shout out Barry, goated member on the channel. Jesus Ferrer 9, filthy dog water for us. First, I thought he said he's gonna. I thought at first he's saying a filthy dog. We said filthy dog water. JP is 20-minute exclusive. Rothrock gets the Liao Chu award. Should only play against the bottom feeders. Sky isn't falling yet.
The layout you award.
You know what's funny is Lao Chu had similar performances to what Rothrock has had. And again, a lot of people do not realize Rothrock's 25, 26. You look at players like Georgie, Lao Chu, they're only like 21, 22.
Yeah.
Oh, God. But yeah, no, I think overall, whole team looked bad. I mean, De Rosario, I don't know what you expect from him. Okay.
I thought De Rosario, here's the problem. Like, when you're a striker like that and you're getting
No, it's not his fault. It's not his fault.
dominated.
I'm not saying that. Like,
Yeah,
that's
he's
what I'm
not
saying.
gonna
What do
look-
you expect from him? De La Vega, man, dude, like I want De La Vega to succeed, and you can see that, but it's like the clock is starting to tick. If De La Vega doesn't have like that 7 goals, 7 assists type of season, like I'm gonna start getting a little worried for him.
Hold on a second. That's your standard though. This guy was $8 million. That's what your bare minimum for to be not call him a bust. I mean, dude, when you're spending like $7 or $8 million on a player, they're supposed to be better than just 7 goals, 7 assists. He should be getting double digits in both every single year.
But do we think he will by the end of the season?
I don't think he could get, I don't even think he could get to that just based on the fact that he's not going to play that many minutes.
He won't. I agree with you 100%. I'm not saying he's going to, but I'm just saying that like when you sign a DP, they're supposed to be a difference maker. You know, they're supposed to be the guy, one of the guys on your team, and he can't just be 7 goals, 7 assists. Like that's fucking terrible, bro. Jordi Alba had 15 assists for Miami last year, and he's a fucking fullback.
I did not realize that.
Yeah, you cannot. And here's another thing too: you have hockey assists in MLS, so you get a
that has to
yeah. So dude, fuck that, dude. He needs to have double digit in both, man. He is dog water.
I will say he was the only, like, I was just gonna say, I don't know. To me, Pedro was kind of the only one that was kind of trying to create.
This
is
a
one that
lesser,
really had like a clear opportunity.
It's a lesser thing, Brody. This is like a lesser thing, but it's like kind of like for me, it's like it begs the question. Like the clock is ticking a little bit for him, where it's like things do got to start really ramping up a little bit for him. And I really hope with more minutes and with more time. But this is a side note. I don't want us to touch upon this too much. This is a very side quest thing. Ferreira, I think, is another player we got to talk about.
Ferreira is where I'm worried.
I was told he was going to be a difference maker this year. I had someone.
I know
tell me
the
that
gaslighting.
He was going to be great, and that he just needed to change the scenery. And then when he was healthy, he was going to be the guy. Dude, and
the thing is, he's like coming from it's like MLS moved to MLS, so there shouldn't be much like adapting period for him. And I think the problem is like we're not. To be fair to Ferreira, I don't think we're playing him to his strengths though. That's another issue.
Dude, Jesus Ferreira. What did they trade for him again? I know they gave Lao Chu, and what did they give?
What, 3 million GAM?
3 million in GAM.
It was like almost 2 million GAM in Lao Chu, I think.
And then something else too. I think a draft pick or something.
Zero goals this year.
Maybe.
I know.
Yeah.
0 goals. This guy was brought in because we were told that, hey, he was just a misfit in FC Dallas. He was going to come back, or he was going to come to He was going to come to Seattle, and he was going to be back to his like 19, 20 goal scoring self, like we saw for Dallas. Because I was told numerous times, bro, you're over exaggerating. He's only 23. Let's see him play for another team. Give him a change of scenery. He's the guy. He's going to be back with the USMNT. Bullshit. Okay, he's gonna be back. Paul Arriola, Mr. Tear Your ACL twice, 3 times, whatever the fuck it is at this time. Like this is a fucking disaster.
Yeah, that was the signing that Brody knows, J. Ross knows, everyone knows. That's the one that I was just like, bro, I don't need this one. I think let's go to a small positive. Yeah. Kalani Costa Rienzi, dude, he looked good tonight. And now this is Brody, I'm gonna have to give you credit. Oh, wait, why do you shake your head like that?
I didn't think he was very good, to be honest.
Really? I thought
There's a couple moments where he got cooked, in my opinion, pretty bad. But again, it's like things like that don't
compared to everybody else.
I think.
Well, I guess compared to everybody else, but we just got battered for nothing. So it's like.
I guess, yeah. But in regards to positive, I think Kalani looked good for someone who It's his first year in the league. I think he's really putting what I was getting at, Brody, was I think especially J. Ross has really been like a fan favorite of Kalani to push Alex Roldan, like, actually compete for that right back spot. And I think Kalani is making a pretty good point for that. So, okay, let's kind of get talk about now the Sounders going into the. Oh, yes. Look at this. Here, this is a good point. 7.7 on FootMob and a 4-0 loss is insane. That is, that is pretty good. Now let's talk about the game against, going now into the Portland game. What are some of your guys' concerns? What was the fault going into this match? What did it come down to why Seattle lost? And we'll transition to the Portland game.
For me, the biggest, most obvious thing is the formation change in the squad rotation. Because I mean, first of all, why the fuck does Stephen Fry need a break? You stand on a fucking line for 90 minutes and you move back and forth. Sometimes you dive. Why do you need a break? That's the thing about this game. Yeah, we got fucking battered. It was ugly, but it could have been 0-0 going into half, like easily. If we had Steph in the game, But not just that, just overall the complete rotation. To me, that was the biggest problem by far.
So that's a Brian thing.
That is a Brian thing. And unfortunately, as the Brian stan, it is
the number.
It is
the Brian Glazer. The Brian Glazer.
Yeah.
What do you, Will? Before you have to go, what do you think cost the Sounders tonight? This will be your final action.
I wanted to point something out too. Is really weird, right? We see everyone acknowledges it was a heavy rotation, obviously, right? The one person who really surprised me that started was Yamar. Bro, he's like 33 years old. I'm actually really surprised. Of all the people who didn't start, that he was the one who did start. I'm surprised that he's the guy that played, because he's played every game this year. He's like 33 years old. So I'm very surprised if you were going to do this heavy rotation of a lot. Like, why did you not set him too?
That's what we're saying. The rotations were weird. Like, why Rothrock? Why and then you rotate Fry.
Yeah, you rotate Fry, but you play Yamar, who's literally the only guy on the team this year that outside of Rothrock who has started every match. There are the only two players.
And even late in the game, like the game's fucking over, and you take off Pedro and put in Kent. Like, to me, it's like, bro, why?
It was pointless. It's pointless.
This was like, why even play Kent completely? I'd rather Kent rest the rest of this fucking pointless game and then play 90 against Portland.
I'll say this before I go. This was very disappointing and just felt like a waste of time for everybody. I think Musovski, I don't know why you would kill his momentum like that, because didn't he score like 5 goals in 5 games?
Yeah.
I feel like he was just absolutely on fire. Outside of Brian White, probably the hottest striker in MLS at this point, and you just absolutely killed his momentum. And you brought him on like in the 57th minute, which didn't really make any sense. And you guys, this is not how you want to head into rivalry week, or not even. It's like a 3-day. It's a shortened week, but this is not how you want to head into a game like this. And I think I'll just give my quick thoughts on the Portland game. I would favor Portland because Seattle's not a good road team this year. Portland's pretty good, and I just think that this is not the way you'd want to head into this game. I think they got punched in the mouth, and we're going to see how they rebound. I think Seattle is gonna struggle, but if Seattle does end up beating Portland, hey, bravo to them, kudos. Like, that's a great game. That would be a great rebound after this shit show, and we would forget about how bad this was. I'll give a score prediction too, because I won't see you guys till then. I'll say Seattle will lose 3-1. I think Musovski might end up getting a goal, but dude, I tell you what, Portland has been cooking, man. They're like 4th or 3rd in the West right now. Now Seattle's like 6th place. They swapped spots with LAFC after this loss. Seattle's going to have to do some stuff, but I don't think they're going to do much this summer. We've talked about this. All three of us talked about this numerous times. This is their team. This is what they got, and it's not looking very good. I appreciate you guys for having me on tonight. Hey, make sure you like this stream down below. Help these guys out. Become a member of the channel if you haven't already. It helps all these guys out. If you love the Seattle Sounders content, support your local content makers. And I appreciate you guys for having me on.
Thank you, Will. Appreciate it.
Yep.
W's in the chat for Will. All right. Anything you want to add to what Will said?
In terms of the Portland game, I will say, I mean, we've seen, for example, Nashville, who we gave the belt to, turn around and just put an absolute beat down. So,
What do
I
you
mean,
think
we
of
can
this?
respond like that. I'm hoping. I'm like, yeah, seriously, dude. Oh my gosh, but I'm hoping that we can have some sort of similar of a bounce back, and while we aren't the best team on the road, we do fare well in Portland a lot of the time. So
See,
I have
one
some
thing
hope.
one thing I want to touch upon too is like I didn't like I don't like the mindset of I care more about this game and I want us to focus more on this game. Both of these games are winnable games, especially for LAFC. You break the goose, the duck of not winning in the regular season here in LA. I think this was a good opportunity. We talked about that, Brody. You can win both games. You can play both your strongest lineups, and then maybe rest on an easier opponent. But I don't like the mindset of, oh, like I preferred if we won this game over that game. Obviously, you can choose that, but in my opinion, you guys all heard it. I was bullish on the team with the momentum we were on. Why don't we just play our strongest lineups here and then against Portland and try to get all 6 points?
Or just even if you want to rotate some guys, that's fine. But the entire team is fucking nuts.
I
The entire
know.
team is crazy, and like
I think he just thought we would just do it again. You know, the first time was so nice. I had to do it twice because it
that's
worked the
just
first time.
to me, like I don't get why Kent doesn't start. I don't get
I
why
don't either.
like Rusnak doesn't start in this game. I don't get why Wasowski doesn't start in this game.
This is a good question. Why doesn't Georgie get any minutes in this game?
See, but that's the thing. I wouldn't have even started Georgie at all, but later in this kind of game, I would have brought him on instead of bringing on Ryan Kent at that point.
From what we've heard about Georgie is apparently Brian quite doesn't see him right now as much in the first team picture anymore. It seems like Rothrock is his number one guy, with Kent, obviously, once he gets back to full fitness, will be his other main guy. But from what we've been told, Georgie doesn't look super in the picture right now, which is kind of disappointing to see because between him and I understand when you play the 5 in the back, you want to play Rothrock as a left wing back. That's fine. But like a lot of times he's playing like right winger, left winger. Like I don't
I just
know.
would rather not. I would just rather completely scrap that formation. Like I'd rather just keep playing the
Dude, that
4-2-3-1,
one
and
playoff
that way you
game,
can.
man. The one playoff game against LAFC. It's funny because I got so much flack when saying we should utilize it in the Open Cup game. Everyone said I was fucking crazy for that. And then we did in the playoffs. And now,
That's
now
the thing. Like,
Spencer's ride or die.
but that was a different scenario because last
Yeah.
year we didn't have the pieces that we have now.
Yeah.
You know, and we had consistently gotten beat by LAFC. At that point, it's like change something. But we've added good pieces, and we've played well in the 4-2-3-1. So why are we moving away from it?
I don't know. Yeah, that doesn't make much sense to me either. When it talking about Portland a little bit, guys, by the way, if you haven't already, make sure to like the stream. If you guys are watching this as a video, drop a comment and whatnot. Have teams figured out Ryan? No.
No.
I mean, like, it didn't we were, as I said, once it was 2-0, like, we can all admit we were gonna lose the game. It didn't really matter that much. I'm just surprised on how much we dropped our heads. That's kind of the thing that surprises me. No, I think going into the Portland game, you have to now get all 3 points. The only thing that concerns me is Brian doesn't have, I think, a subscriber. I can try and find it. Brian doesn't have a good record against the Timbers. I think he has a losing record against Portland, which is a little bit upsetting to see. But yeah, I think you have to go out and try to win that game. You have to. What does the lineup look like for you?
I mean, I think you got to go balls to the walls. I think it's.
Okay.
I think to me, it's your Fry, your Nuhu, Yamar, Kim, Alex, and then I'd obviously go Obed, Christian. Which, by the way, Christian not traveling. I'm hoping that's just
Weird.
nothing of note. I'm
Weird.
hoping that's nothing to note.
Yeah.
Just I found it weird that him nor Fry traveled. I can't imagine it's due to injury, but anyways, I have the pivot of Obed, Christian, and then I have Kent, Rusnak, De La Vega, and then Moose. That's how it would go.
Here's the comment from one of our subscribers. I'll share this tab. Oh shoot, you guys can't see it. I'm gonna have to zoom out. Here's the comment from one of our subscribers. I'll share this tab. Oh shoot, you guys can't see it. I'm gonna have to zoom out.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna have to zoom out. 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 I'm gonna have to zoom Okay, do you guys see it now? Nope, can't even see it. Gosh darn it. Never mind. We'll just go back to sharing this tab. The comment is from Hukaka69. Weird name. Schmetzer's MLS record against Portland is 9-14-6. And then he continues to say, that's pathetic. A losing record by 5 games against your hated rivals. Yeah. What did Vamos Sounders? Oh, you're talking about the rotation stuff. Barry with another super chat. Ever since Joe Roth was forced out as a co-owner, the aura / magic has faded. The thing is I felt like you guys, I think there's a stigma on Mr. Negative, and that's fine. But I really thought we started to turn a corner here. Like, I felt like we were starting to like kind of see like a Sounders DNA type of team. Musovski being like your Kenny Coopers, your Chad Barrett, your Will Bruin type of striker. You have Ryan Kent, who's like kind of like that Oba type of player. You have your supplemental pieces of Christian, Obed being like your DeAndre Edlin, who adds like that young flair to the team. Fry always being a constant, and things like that. But then, I don't know. I'm just kind of like, you feel bummed now after this because you're just like, why did we go away from that? I get it's a midweek game, but it's like, did we have to go to this far of an extreme?
It just, I'm the reason why I'm not worried. To be honest, I'm not really worried at all. If I'm being completely honest.
I think I can agree with you on that. Yeah.
This is a full-on B. This is a fully fledged B team that we played. Like, we had a couple, like Yamar, yeah, I guess, and then was he the only consistent starter on the field? Yamar? Rothrock, I guess. Well, starting level player, I should say. Yamar was the only like actual real starter.
I guess Pedro.
Yeah, and Pedro. But besides that, completely rotated.
Yeah. And I guess Nuhu. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. Okay, but the game was 0-0, and it's like, that's fine. You're not going to dominate. I know we've been dominating everybody recently, but every team loses games.
Yeah,
it's
no,
fine.
and I agree too. Yeah.
If we had lost this game full strength, like even 2-0, it's like, okay, we've lost 2-3, 4-0 with Dempsey and Oba before. We've seen it happen. It's not the end of the world.
That's a good point.
And it's just like, you could see the game broke down because of those switches. Like, for example, Thomas, horrible, absolutely horrible on the first goal. John Bell, not two, got called back, but he got cooked 2 times on that goal. First of all, way out of position, and then he gets back and then gets cooked again for the goal. And then at that point,
dude, getting cooked by a Bobasi is not a receding hairline. Bobasi.
Dude, he's a guy, man. He's actually pretty decent. He looked like fucking.
Didn't we talk about it with Favi? Didn't we talk about it with Favi? Should he have been a player that we should have maybe looked at? Because didn't we talk about that, like from some of the strikers?
I think so. We probably touched on it a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. Barry again with another super chat. I'm still rolling with this team, but going to 2 games this year, the crowd isn't hitting line it used to. The pregame funk isn't there. I agree. I mean, I'm on my first game, guys, by the way, will be actually at the Portland game next week, or this weekend. That's my first and only game.
I've been to nearly every single home game. The only one that actually hit like an OG home game was the St. Louis game when Kent came on. Assists and the Nuhu goal. That was like throwback, like Sounders, Seattle's rocking type of thing. But
yeah.
In general, I agree with Barry.
Yeah, a lot of the chat is saying Kalani looked good tonight. So
there's just a couple of things. Like, I just felt like defensively, there's a couple of things I noticed where
granted,
he was slow to react to things.
No one defensively was good tonight per se.
Yeah, no one defensively was good. That is fair. Yeah, there's just a couple things where I noticed. And then again, Alex, it's not like Alex is some sort of defensive savant.
Alex, God, fucking hell.
So bro. It's like, and in general, like Kalani's had a good year in general. So he is. I still obviously maintain that he's pushing Alex.
Let's talk a little bit about, guys, also flood in kind of your comments of some like stuff you want us to talk about now. This is a good time to get you guys chimed in. And if you haven't already, guys, let's smash the like button on this live. I think an interesting point to make that Taco Kid has brought up a few times during the live is our defense has not been good this year. That was kind of like the whole praise of this year was our defense. And we kind of spoke about it like before you came on the channel, but I think it's Taco Kid brought it up many times. We didn't think our defense was that great last year. We just always were in the games because we couldn't score. Like that's how the games were tight. But, we saw Reagan with mistakes, Nuhu with mistakes, Alex with mistakes. Like our defense, was never consistent. Like always one piece of it lacking. And I think this year really just as I said, our goals scored to goals conceded is almost the same this year, even though we've had huge performances, like a handful of them.
Yeah. Yeah. And our goal difference, I think last year was something like 10, 12, but it was, and that was with us barely scoring goals,
Yeah.
Like to see how far that's fallen off this year, it's a bit sad. But it was looking really good for the past 4 or 5 games, and then
With
today
Kim.
just shit hits the fan completely.
Yeah.
And surprise, it's the completely rotated roster with the formation change going away from what's been working the past 5-6 weeks. Listen, I'm just gonna bring up what we were talking about earlier. I was giving Brian credit today just on. I always felt like the double pivot 4-2-3-1 was good when you have the right pieces to execute the tactics, and I was giving him credit for that. For sticking with that, rolling with that formation, tweaking it a bit so you get Kent to be higher up the field more, which puts him in a better position. Like that, I was giving him a lot of credit for that. And then today, man, all across the board, the tactics from the subs, from just all of it, top to bottom, was terrible. And we can fully 100% blame the loss on him today. I think it's fair to say that.
Guys, we're at 13 likes. There's over 30 of you watching. If you haven't already, smash the like buttons, get over 20 likes right now on the live. Barry says we've been clamoring for a U22-9. I think left back, I don't totally understand what that word is going to be. With Nuhu and a CM to take over JP and Leva is more important. Hot take. Oh, wow. So he's saying a CM and a left back is more important than a 9.
Yeah, he wants a left back to compete with Nuhu, which is fair.
Well, that's true. Yeah, we've talked about this. Yeah, it's the same thing with Alex and Nuhu.
I feel like it's not like Reed Baker Whiting is terrible.
No.
Like Reed's put in good shifts. Like you could, even if he's not your ideal choice, you could still be working him into the game, to at least push Nuhu. It's not like you have.
Like he's falling off the picture a little bit too. Like I'm a little surprised.
Yeah.
And same thing with Cody, even though I know you don't rate him. I'm not saying he's God's given gift either, but I'm just saying he's also fallen out of the picture too. So it's
Reed's fallen out. And then have you seen the meme where it's the guy playing with the kid and then the kid's drowning and then it shows the bottom, the guy that's all the way sunk to the bottom?
Sunk down, yeah.
That's Cody. Cody's all the way down at the bottom.
Yeah, Cody's not even in the picture right now. Yeah, I mean, Reed Baker Whiting is either always hurt or doghoused. Yeah, I think the big point here is, guys, I don't think we have to this is not press the panic button game. I think the results, the score line and how you watch the game, how it panned out, wasn't great. It was a big time sucker punch. Would I have liked us to have won this game, gone out, played a strong lineup to win it? Because we could have, and we kind of finally could have broken that duck. Yes, 100%. But I won't say this is the end of the world because we've done really well recently. If we go into the Portland game, let's say, with our strong lineup, so that lineup we've talked about in many videos, we played Musovski, we start Musovski, De La Vega, Kant, Obed, Christian, Fry, Yamar, Kim, XYZ, and we lose to Portland like 3-1, maybe what Will says, then I'll be okay, now that kind of now I don't know how to feel about this team as much as I did before. So we'll have to see come that point. But definitely, again, we saw some shades of sad to have seen you leave. Yeah, Barry is the guy, dude. Shout out Barry. He's the GOAT. He's the GOAT. He said Cody got a 4.6 on FootMob today. Cody didn't even play the game today.
I think maybe Defiance probably played.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think so.
Brian never wants to put his best team out for LA. Seems like he wants to surprise them in the playoffs.
Surprise, surprise. Here's the same fucking roster I've had for the last 5-6 seasons.
Oh damn, he said for Tacoma, so you weren't wrong. Maybe Cody is in that situation. He's just very much lacking confidence right now. Boys and girls, let's get our final thoughts because it's also kind of late. I'm tired.
You want to know part of my final thoughts?
Okay,
Is the whole foot mob stuff. Okay, I get it. Listen, I like to look at foot mob ratings. Okay,
yeah,
I'm a bit unk. Let me be a bit unk here. I like to look at those ratings sometimes, but to use them as like a complete judgment of how someone played. Danny Leva had like a 7.4 today. He was fucking terrible. Like I said, I made the joke. It seemed like with his performance today, he cut his market value in half. Like that's how bad he was.
Brody texted me that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a bit unk with these foot mob stuff.
Ratings.
You know what I mean, I guess so. But I mean, it just in general, look, guys, it's not something to look too deep into. Obviously, it fucking sucks, but firstly, at least we beat them belt to ass. Not as bad as this, but at least we could just say, let's hold our heads up high. Say, it's 1-1. We'll solve this hopefully in the playoffs.
Do we play them again at the rest of the season, or no? This is the last meeting.
We might actually.
Here, let me quickly look.
I feel like I think we do. I feel like I saw that actually.
Let's see. Let me cook. Let me cook. We do not.
We don't. Okay, well,
you know who we do. You know who we do play in LA is the Galaxy. But by that time, I mean, fuck. I hope
I'm actually scared for that game. Imagine being the fucking team that loses.
Yeah, we play them twice in a span of August and September, so in somewhat close proximity. Yeah.
Oh.
All right. Well, boys and girls, if you guys haven't already, make sure to smash the like button on the stream. If you're watching this as a video, big shout out to you guys. If you're in the live right now, post a comment as well when this goes as a video once the stream ends. It helps out the channel a lot. Give us your thoughts there as well if you've already chimed in here. I know someone commented, I don't remember who said it, with Brody has to oil up if Musovski scores in the Club World Cup, and then I have to oil up if we get a win in the Club World Cup. Drop those comments again on this live. Brody will be live. I'm going to be, as I said, at the Portland game. So Brody will be live post game for the Portland match. He's going to have to ride solo. I don't think J. Ross can get on. Maybe he can invite Will to join him. Maybe Will might come back again. But as of now, Brody is riding solo on a live. So be ready for that. And then, yeah, boys and girls, we all hope you all have a lovely day.